Welcome, teachers and staff. I'm so happy you're here today. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about our story here at Derby Ridge, how we have progressed over time and gotten to where we are today, and what are the next steps we can take to continue to ensure that our school is the best for our students. We're going to, in this presentation, walk through our mission and vision statement here at Derby Ridge. We're going to look at the values and some of the missions of our district to make sure we're aligning as a district, and to talk about some of the challenges we face and how we plan to overcome those challenges to ensure that we're providing the best possible education and culture for our students here at Derby Ridge. I wanted to start out by addressing our mission statement. Always a learner, always a leader, always a dragon. And while this is short and sweet, it really says so much about who we are here at Derby Ridge. We want our students and our staff to be lifelong learners. And by that we mean we're continuously looking for ways we can improve. No one is ever perfect, and we know that everyone has room for growing, improving, and learning. We're going to model that as a staff, and we want our students to develop those lifelong learning skills and the joy of learning so that we know they will continue to do so outside of these walls. Leadership is a huge piece that we have here at Derby Ridge. We want our staff to take on leadership. We want them to model leadership qualities, and we want our kids to become leaders. Leaders for themselves, for their classmates, for their communities, and we want to help instill those leadership qualities in our students so that they can take them beyond our walls. And of course, we want our students to always be dragons. Derby Ridge tends to make a profound impact on lives. And over time, we have people, staff and students, who come back with great memories of the times that they spent here at Derby Ridge and all of the things that they learned from their experience here. And we really take pride in that, and we want to continue that tradition as time goes on. I want to move on to our vision statement. And a vision statement is the view of who we want to be as a school 5 years from now. So we really have to begin with the end in mind here and think about where do we want to end up and what steps can we take to get there. And the way we developed this vision statement was very collaborative. We worked as a staff, as a leadership team, to narrow down what the core values we hold here at Derby Ridge. And so after getting feedback from our staff, our leadership team sat down and developed an all-encompassing vision statement that we felt really honed in on the big rocks and the values that we hold at Derby Ridge. We then sent that out to our staff, got feedback from you. You were able to tell us either we agree with this, we don't, here are suggestions, and we came up with this finalized vision statement that we were able to unveil last year. And there's 4 pieces to our vision: learning, positive culture, collaboration, and assessment. And I'm going to take you through each of those 4 areas and kind of explain what are we going to do to reach our vision in each of those areas. The first area of our vision, of course, is learning. So let me read you what we believe we want to be in terms of learning at Derby Ridge. At Derby Ridge Elementary, we believe we have a shared responsibility to hold our dragon leaders to a high level of expectations. Teachers are going to guide students to persevere, be accountable for their actions, be role models, and show respect for themselves and others. Students will show continuous growth academically and behaviorally. And teachers will be committed to continuously improving themselves and their practices while ensuring instruction will be student-centered. And when we think about this, we really want to embrace the whole child. We understand that academics are not where school ends, and that skills that we need for life today are very different from skills that we needed 100 years ago. And we want to make sure that we are providing our students with the skills they need to be successful in life. Not just successful in K through 5 here at Derby Ridge, but successful for their lives. And we believe that by holding high expectations for them and supporting them to meet those expectations, they will rise to the occasion. We want to hold those same expectations for ourselves as teachers and leaders and staff. We know that the best way to put an emphasis on something is to live it ourselves. And our students are not going to see the value in something if our staff is unwilling to live it ourselves. So we need to hold ourselves to those high expectations. we need to model what it looks like to continuously look for ways to improve, to be learners, and to hold ourselves to those high expectations and hold ourselves accountable. And the last piece I want to hit on here is that we want our instruction and our school as a whole to be student-centered. It's all about the kids. We're here to help them learn and become the best that they can be. In turn, we hope that we're becoming the best we can be in the process. But we want this school to be student-centered because at the end of the day, it's about them. And we need to make sure that we are creating a learning experience that fits their needs. The next aspect of our vision is creating a positive culture here at Derby Ridge. Our culture will be safe, welcoming, adaptable, flexible, and inclusive of everyone. We will value and celebrate growth and achievement. And culture is something that has to be in place for anything else to be able to build and be successful. We can't have significant learning and a positive learning environment without a positive school culture. And so this is going to be very important for all of us to work toward. And a culture includes everyone. So we really all need to be on board in terms of developing this culture. Of course, we need our students to feel safe. We want them to know that they are welcome, that this is the family here at Derby Ridge, that this is their home away from home, and we include everyone, despite your challenges. And we want to value and celebrate growth, not just achievement and proficiency, but the growth that our students show and the accomplishments that they meet throughout the year. So how can we develop this culture as a staff? We need to show that positive energy to our kids. We need to show that grit and tenacity that even though we face challenges, we can overcome it and we can stay positive about our situation. We want to show them that we work as a team, that everyone is here for them, not just their classroom teacher. We're all here to make sure that they feel welcome and that they are learning. And I just wanted to share a brief story with you about a student that I've had. And he was a student who was very uninterested in pretty much everything, and certainly most things at school. And I was on a home visit with he and his mom shared with me that the summer before he came in my class, he kept saying that he couldn't wait to get back to school because he wanted to be in Miss Wall's class. And over time, it became, I know I'm going to be in Miss Wall's class. And when she would ask him why, he said, well, because she would always give me hugs last year in the hallway. She likes me. And for him, those small acts of kindness changed the way he felt about school and his excitement to get back that next year. You have to think about the small little things you do each day that are going to impact our students and the culture at our school. Every little thing matters. Kids see everything. So that one moment that you're standing in the hallway talking negatively about another staff member or about a student, there's someone who's listening to that. And we need to keep that in mind when we think about the importance of building our positive culture. The next piece of our vision is collaboration. We will have a culture of collaboration where teachers meet routinely in PLC teams to discuss data and best practices, and then follow through on those decisions made. We're going to have a culture that believes in and uses shared decision making. And we want our parents and community members to be actively involved within our school. When we think of collaboration, we really need to understand that it means working as a team, but also following through on those decisions made as a team. And our PLC work is going to be a big part of this. In order for us to provide our kids with the best education we can, we have got to work as a team. Our job is simply too hard to do alone. The last section of our vision is assessment. We're going to use ongoing assessments as tools to drive our instruction. And assessments are going to be aligned with our standards and best practices. We know that assessment can be very powerful, but it has to be done in a meaningful and purposeful way. We are going to make sure we're constantly reviewing the assessments that we use to ensure that they are purposeful and useful and that they truly are driving our instruction. And we're a part of Columbia Public School District, and it's important that as a school, our missions and goals align with that of our district. And in our district, we know that achievement, enrichment, and opportunity are big pillars. We want all students to be college and career ready. We want every teacher to become their best. And we want our operations to make it possible for achievement, enrichment, and opportunity to happen for all of our kids. When we think about AEO, we know that achievement is really where we're focusing in on students. And that what we mean by achievement is that we want to get them to school, we want to keep them in class, and we want to get them caught up. We want to improve our attendance to make sure that 90% of students are at school 90% of the time. We want to decrease the amount of out of school suspension and in school suspension that we're seeing with our kids. And we want to ensure excellent instruction to make sure that our students are making maximum gains each year in order to catch up and close the gap for students that need that. Now, all of that sounds great and sounds like a perfect world, but in order for us to get there, we have to address the challenges that we face. And a big challenge we face here at Derby Ridge is our reading proficiency. Last year, we started the year with only 55% of our students proficient in reading. And by the end of the year, we only were able to improve that to 68%. And while that is a great growth and something to certainly celebrate, we need more of our kids to be proficient readers. And one of the most alarming pieces of data is that our Black students, who are our largest population, ended the year at 51% proficient readers. Our Hispanic students, who are not the next largest subpopulation, but we have about 15% of our students who are Hispanic who ended the year at only about 63% proficient in reading. Our children of color are not achieving at the levels of their white peers, and we need to do something to address that issue and to make our school a place where it's more conducive to our children of color being able to learn, grow, and improve to close that learning gap. There are a lot of outside factors that serve as challenges for us and our students. We are currently 100% free and reduced, and while that is a grant that makes that possible, even before that, we were above 90% free and reduced lunch. So we have a lot of children living in poverty. We have a very transient population. Our kids bounce around and move quite a bit. We have a high number of mental health concerns. A lot of our students have experienced trauma, abuse, neglect, and we have to address that in order to help them become learners. They can't learn when these mental health concerns are overriding their ability to be present at school. And we have a very high number of discipline referrals. So behavior instances in our building are high, and we need to address that so that learning can continue and so that we can create that more positive culture for our students as well as our staff. So what are some of the things we're going to do to address our reading deficit? We have title reading support. So we're hitting those kids young and making sure they're getting a double dose of reading with people who are expert reading instructors. We are going to ensure that all teachers are providing differentiated reading instruction to make sure that kids are being instructed on their level. We're going to work hard in PLCs and data teams to ensure that we're collaborating and putting all resources into our kids to help them catch up. We're going to collaborate among grade levels to serve our kids in the best way possible. We're going to ensure that we have excellent resources, books, and programs to help supplement our reading instruction. And we're going to get books into our classroom that feature characters from diverse backgrounds. Our students need to see themselves in school. They need to see themselves in the books that they read in order to become the best readers that they can be. And by ensuring that we have diverse books in our classrooms, our kids can see themselves there and will be more interested and more engaged in their reading instruction. And while we know that making reading gains is very important for our students, we've got to address behavior and mental health concerns in order for that to happen. We are a PBIS school. Our students are safe, respectful, responsible problem solvers, and we're going to continue to positively reinforce that behavior. We're going to work in our PLCs to make sure that behavior concerns are addressed and that we're putting all of our minds together to figure out the function of those behaviors and how we can best help those students. We're going to build that positive school culture so that students feel happy and safe and welcome at school. We're going to continue mindfulness practices within our classroom and zones of regulation to help our students develop that emotional control and regulation and develop those positive mindsets. We've put in a second recess to ensure that they have opportunities to practice those social skills and have a break from their intense learning. They are kids and they need to be kids. We're undergoing trauma training so that we can understand the effects of trauma on our students and how we can help them overcome and help better serve those students. We're pulling in community resources to address our mental health concerns, and we're going to support those kids to get the help that they need. And as a district, we're undergoing equity training to understand the disparities within our society and education system, and make sure that our students of color are achieving at an equitable rate and making sure that they are represented equitably. My final thought today is that we need you. Without you, none of this is possible. The teachers and adults in our building impact lives every single day. With every interaction you have with each other and with your students, you are changing the culture of this school and changing the lives of our students. We need to understand that and appreciate the responsibility that we have. I respect you, I support you, and I'm here to help you in this journey toward our vision. Thank you very much.